Hello, my friends. Welcome in or welcome back to Wandering Soul Tarot. I hope you are all doing well out there. My name is Amanda, and I have a channeled and collective reading for you today. What was I going to say? In the spirit of being seen, which is what this message is about a little bit. I am coming to you very authentically, not having any specific setup or lights, and in a ratty old sweatshirt in the evening. And I just came out of a meditation that I did in complete darkness, which I've been doing more of. It's been lovely to meditate in the dark. And if I can't do it at night, then I find an eye mask or something to cover my eyes with, because I find that I can get into a deeper trance and drop deeper into my heart space. And in this meditation, a channeled message came through, so I thought I would share with that. If you want to skip straight to the tarot reading, you can do that by clicking on the link the timestamp in the description box, and that will be my usual top-down version. But for now, let's just get into the channeled message. So in order to experience our desires, we may, and sometimes often, have to encounter the opposite. To want abundance means we must sacrifice instant gratification or luxuries until abundance is achieved. To want to be seen and appreciated by our soul family, our friends, our co-workers, our associates, we need to be willing to be unliked, judged, or criticized by those we pass along the way. To love means we will get hurt. To learn means we have to be okay not knowing. To grow means we must find comfort in the discomfort. And to find our way, we must be willing to get a little lost. So I've experienced this in my life on a number of levels, in many capacities. And to want to be seen and appreciated is the one that I'm working on currently, just because I have locked myself away for so long and only have given people glimpses of what I can offer and who I am. But as a business owner, as a tarot reader, I have to get into a zone of discomfort and to get in that space of vulnerability in order to be seen by the people that I want to connect with. And that means that along that way, I'm going to have to deal with people that I don't like, that don't like me. And not that I have to put up with anything that is critical or abusive, but just knowing that can arm me to prepare for that and to strengthen myself, to build my confidence in order to be able to navigate those energies when I do come across it. And it feels inevitable. So I thought that this was a really appropriate channeled message that I thought I would share with my collective, because I feel that I'm not the only one out there feeling this, experiencing this. So I hope this message gives you a little inspiration for your path ahead. And let's get into the tarot reading now and see what the cards have to say about it. See you over there. Hello, my curious souls. Welcome to the tarot portion of the channeled message, or the collective reading. We are going to get some cards about this, and I don't really know what's going to come out. I don't have a plan. So let's just see what comes out for this reading in regards to what wants to come forward, possibly in regards to the channeled message. Legacy. Okay. So what I'm getting for this, and I have to apologize, my voice might be a little raspy because I'm moving through a cold at the moment. So yes, I might be a little bit on the quieter side. I might be a little bit sneezy or sniffly. I apologize in advance, but here we go. We'll probably keep this pretty short. Legacy. Yeah. You know, in order for us to step into our legacy, this is big energy. When we think about legacy, we think about the things that we want to build for ourselves, build for our life. And this isn't just kind of your everyday run-of-the-mill idea. This is something that you have to build up on. This is something that you have to grow into. This is something that you have to show up for every day, or as much as possible in a very consistent way. And there is some letting go that is required in order for us to grow into this energy. We have to let go of the old self that we've identified with for so long. We have to find some level of comfort in the discomfort and the growing pains. We have to be open to the experiences and the opportunities and the people that cross our path, and know that not every single one is going to be for us and vice versa. But what I'm getting from this too is a nurse tree, when it dies, it doesn't die. And I'm getting another message that I channeled when I went away on a retreat recently, and I was on a beach. I was laying on this massive fallen dead tree that had washed up on the shore. And I was straddling it like a horse, and I leaned forward to kind of hug it, and it felt so supportive. And the message that I got from this tree was, even in death, I still have value. As it was cradling me in that moment, as it was offering shelter for other creatures and bugs and animals. And that's kind of what a nurse tree does. Well, that is what a nurse tree does, is that it supports life in death. It supports the mushrooms, and it supports new growth from this particular place. And that's kind of what happens in our transformations, is that those pieces of us that die don't really go away. They just offer us support for the new growth that we're going to experience. Energy doesn't die, it simply transforms. And that is what a legacy is, especially when we think of a redwood, how much of a legacy that is, and how much time it takes, how much nutrients and energy it takes to become such a massive thing that offers so much value to this earth. It started from a seed, a single seed that was planted, and it grew and was nurtured. And it wasn't afraid of the weather. It wasn't afraid of what would cross its path. It wasn't afraid of what it would experience in this time on earth. It just did. It just followed its destiny to its legacy. I'm sorry if I'm getting really deep here. This cold seems to be getting me into a bit of a trance here, or it could have been a meditation. I'm not too sure. But wow. So I feel like there are many in the collective here that are building a legacy, that are creating something of comfort, of stability, of security, not only for yourself, but possibly others as well. And if this is something that you desire, then you have to look at the things that you might need to get comfortable with, or might need to learn how to navigate. Not really sure what to pull for the tarot cards. What about this legacy? How can we lean into this legacy a little bit more? How can we lean into this legacy? Well, there's your foundations. We've got good foundations here. That's going to be number one. It's spiritual foundations. We have to make sure that the ground is right. So we'll get a few here. Okay. What do we want to do here? I want to do that. That's been my thing for these collective readings. What's this? This, and we do have the world. We'll keep that in mind. We do have the world at the bottom of the deck here, so that's freedom and closure. And one more. Thank you. Okay. So in order to step into this legacy, Foundation was the first card that came out. Apologies. The Four of Wands is about having that firm foundation, that spiritual firm foundation, to be able to launch off of, to be able to kind of have a launch pad, a starting point. There's some things that I feel need to be organized or put in place or understood. And this is important, especially when we are trying to move towards something quite big in our life, is that we have to make sure that we are prepared spiritually, emotionally, mentally, maybe even financially, in order to make sure that things are in the right place for us to be able to receive the fruits of that legacy. If we jump into something, I'm thinking of lottery winners that have been in lack for many or much of their life. They win the lottery and they don't know how to either manage it or to sustain it or to nurture that. So in a year or 6 months or 2 years, they end up being in the same place that they were before they won the lottery, because they simply didn't have the tools. They didn't have the spiritual foundations. They didn't have the emotional foundations or the mental foundations to be able to make that, sustain that, to carry that into their future. So I feel that's really important to be able to consider that at this time and figure out what kind of foundations you need to have in place in order to start building your legacy upon. Now, with the Five of Pentacles here, I feel like there is something here that needs to be worked through. Five of Pentacles can be a lack mindset. It can be a period in time where you are feeling like you don't have enough, or maybe you aren't enough. There could also be some health issues here that you're working through and you're trying to find your foundations again. This is quite unstable energy, or it is an energy of change and transition from one thing to another. So I feel that you're moving through or could be moving through a really challenging time, possibly financially. And so this idea of legacy might feel very out of reach at this time. But I feel like this is a really fertile ground for you to start from scratch or start fresh or start rebuilding. This feels like a rebuilding point, a place to plant new seeds. Now, speaking of which, we have the Ace of Wands, and that is in reverse. I really feel like this is an opportunity to start something new, but I don't know that you're seeing it that way. You're not seeing this as the best time to start something because you want to be in a better place. And that might be true, but this discomfort might be necessary in order for you to have the opportunity to chase or start something here, to find the time or inspiration to start something big. This could be ground zero for that. And as I mentioned in the channeled message, sometimes in order for us to find our abundance, whatever that might look like, we have to move through periods of scarcity and to remove the luxuries in life and the instant gratifications in order to preserve our time, our energy, our money for the most important things, the things that inspire us, the things that bring us joy and pleasure and inspiration. So I feel like even though you might not be in the best, maybe physical scenario, or you might not feel like you're at the best place to start something new, I would second guess that, just to be devil's advocate here. Now, there's also this Three of Swords here, which is a card of pain and heartbreak. So this could be part of the equation as well. And this could have some connection to a relationship that has lost its spark, that you are no longer connected to, that you may have assumed or expected this to turn into something bigger when it didn't. So I feel like there could be a couple of elements here going on within the mind, maybe within the body, within the physical world that you're moving through, that is kind of stopping the idea of this legacy in its tracks before it even gets started. So I feel like I'm just going to go back to my previous message that I feel like this is fertile ground to plant new seeds and to make choices that are aligned with your vision of the future. And yes, we need to process the difficult things and find our security and our stability again. That's going to be number one. But don't wait for the perfect time to start something. Don't wait for everything to be in the exact place that you need it to be in order to follow something that is going to be fulfilling for you, that is going to be something of great reward for you. So I want to get 3 more cards for guidance and advice, please. Guidance and advice. Guidance and advice for the collective. How can they move through this energy and step into their legacy? Don't be afraid of competition. It's kind of the first thing. Don't be afraid to do something different with the Hierophant. And one more. All right. Trust your instincts. Trust your intuition. And the Star. Have a little more hope and faith in your ability to create, to bring things to life, your future. I feel like you may have lost a little hope and faith in that through this experience. So the 5 of, where are we? 5 of Wands in reverse, the Hierophant in reverse. We have 2 5s here, and we have the High Priestess in reverse. So we have competing, maybe releasing the, what I want to say here, allow things to be a little, I want to say allow things to be a little disorganized right now because there are messages in the mess. And actually somebody that I connected with over this past weekend mentioned that. The messages are in the mess and the discomfort of that mess. And so I think there's something in that. And don't be afraid or don't lose steam to kind of share your vision with others. Don't worry about people judging you or criticizing you or trying to one-up you. This is your path. And there are going to be people that don't understand that, but let that be okay. Don't try to convince them. Don't try to engage in trying to justify yourself to these people, especially if all they're going to do is criticize. We are looking for constructive criticism, not competition. So I feel like that's part of the advice there. And the Hierophant in reverse is, you have the key to what you want to create within you already. It's just a matter of stepping out of the box, of doing things a little bit differently, of challenging your own status quo, of not doing things by the book, maybe in which you've done so in the past. This is kind of breaking out of your shell a little, not being afraid to be seen, not being afraid of doing things a little unconventional or worried about what others will think when you do something unconventional. In tandem with working through some stuff that you might be working through. That's okay, you can do both. Now, there might be a time and a place where you have more energy for one thing over another, and that's okay. But again, don't feel like this difficulty or challenge that you might be moving through, don't make that the sole focus of your life and your future. Understand that it is a moment to process, heal from, work through, understand, learn from. But eventually you will have to move on, find new opportunities, rebuild. And so how can you do both? And don't ignore the playfulness either. I feel like there's a playfulness that needs to come through, even if you are having challenges. If it can't be resolved in a swift manner, then make time to do the processing and the healing, but also make time to enjoy yourself a little as well. And connect in with your intuition. Foster that a little bit more, because I think it's been shut out in all of this noise, all of the chaos. I almost feel like you've shut yourself out, shut yourself down, and that could be because of situations in your life or in your past where you stop trusting your intuition, you stop trusting your own truth, your own path, your own ideas. It's time to reconnect with that a little bit more. And that could be part of your spiritual foundations, is to develop that trust a little more, to connect in with what your heart is telling you, where it wants you to move, what it's sharing with you, what it desires. But it's going to require you to do things that you haven't done before. I'm hearing best be prepared. I don't know what that means, but... So we'll get a couple cards to end your reading here for the collective, and I am going to go lay down. 2 cards. Okay. So, we have Guardian Angel. You are not alone. This could be a sign or synchronicity for you. Feathers could be that. But just in general, if you were worried that you have been forgotten or you have been feeling a little bit alone, know that your spirit guides, your angels, your spirit team is around you and helping you. Maybe connecting in with them and asking them for that assistance, asking them to help you see the way forward. I also get with the white feathers, trust, and again, that intuition, that inner knowing. Also, if there are people in your life that you have available to you that can be a support, then that might be something to connect in with as well at this time. And I feel these are falling off the table. We have arrow. Surround yourself with protective energy. So protecting your vision, your dreams, yourself. Also, I feel like this is an arrow shooting you straight ahead. This is knowing your direction. It's kind of ready, aim, fire energy. It's preparing yourself with the tools and the skills that you need to do what you want to do. It's aiming, having that intention for where you want to go, what you want to create, what direction you need to go in order to get there. And then fire, taking action, that intentional action towards that specific bullseye, towards that goal. And kind of cutting everything out along the way that doesn't allow you to stay on that path. Anything that serves as a distraction, anything that is critical or toxic or wants to pull you off your track. This is straight shooter is something that I'm hearing, and I feel like this is helping you refine your direction towards this legacy. And it's also reminding you to protect yourself against energies that you know want to hurt you and want to keep you small and want to keep you in a lack mindset, want to make you not feel good enough to chase your dreams. And that could be the reason why the High Priestess is in reverse. And you not trusting your intuition and your ability to follow the things that you desire is because there's a situation or a person that made you feel small. So this is your time to step into your legacy, those big dreams, and to figure out how to do that from all aspects and not just taking action towards it, but how do you prepare for that and to protect yourself, your energy, protect that legacy moving forward, to trust yourself a little bit more and rebuild the foundations to be able to launch yourself forward towards this legacy. So, my dear soul collective, this is what I have for you today. If you'd like to dive deeper with a personal reading, the link to book one is in the description box. And with gratitude, I'm sending you all my love, and we will see you in your next reading.